Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
So we've been talking to a lot of our friends and friends of the show to check in, see how they're doing. And one, I'll consider him a friend of ours because we've had him on the show a bunch of times, and super nice guy. And we haven't talked to him in a little bit since probably Fringe last year, I believe. So on Skype with us right now, and for those of you who want to see the video component of our show, just go to twitch.tv/Tom and Dan or our YouTube channel, because Daniel puts up all the videos of like Quarantine Cribs and everybody we talked to on Skype. But on the line with us right now, Chris Turner. What's going on, Chris?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. How are you guys?
Good.
It's really good to see you, man. I was actually popping around on the Twitch, I want to say a couple nights ago, and caught your game show.
Oh, that was very silly.
Did you enjoy
what you grabbed?
It was phenomenal. So he had these guys in four corners, and then he was in the center, like green screened out. It was dope.
Yeah.
And then he was running like this completely, I'm guessing, improvisational game show.
Yeah, that's my improv group from back in the UK, and we'd started hanging out on Zoom, and then I was like, hey, because we just mess around, why not broadcast it on Twitch? So I can't promise we're going to do more, because it's the time zones make it hard, right? Because it means I have to do it in the middle of the day, they have to do it in the evening. Some of them are in Norway as well, but it's just a very silly way to hang out with friends and mix it up from just the usual kind of, oh, how's everyone doing? Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Oh, my hair's long.
And one of the things I really enjoyed that you did was he had it set up so the viewers like us could donate for the prize.
Oh,
yes,
really?
So I'll tell you what the prize was. So it was, we kind of ran this prize pot. So like the viewers play, they're like, oh, you vote on the winner of each round and stuff. And the viewers also chose a couple of rounds that we played. But in the end, I was like, okay, whatever money we've had donated, we make a prize. So with the prize money, the winner, and he doesn't know this, is being sent a custom coronavirus face mask. However, what's printed on it is his nose and mouth. So he can wear it over his face, but it still looks like he has his nose and mouth on his face.
Brilliant.
It's horrific and horrible and unsettling to the max.
I love it.
But I hope he'll like it, yeah.
Yeah. Are you actually getting a picture of his own face?
Yeah, no, because we're all actors, right? We all have headshots. So I immediately was just like, oh, I can get a high-res photo of his face, sent that to this guy who I think they usually print people's faces on underwear. So you can buy boxer shorts with your face on, right? Which, that's weird. But a face mask with your own face printed on it. Yeah, so it looks like you're not wearing a face mask, but obviously you are. I don't know. It's a dumb thing. And that was always going to be the point. Like, the prize was never going to be good.
You bring up a point that I have brought up a couple times is during normal Zoom chats with friends, it's seemingly like you always have those couple friends that don't know how to use technology, so then they got the reverb or the echo, and no one knows where it's coming from. So everybody's like, I'm hearing echo. Where's that coming from? And, of course, the person that doesn't understand technology is coming from them, and they're like, I don't see a problem here. But, of course, like, how do you know?
They're usually the loudest one, too.
Yeah. And then...
and they're like, they just don't even respond. I've been doing a lot of virtual gigs, and I think this is one of the things that kind of I lucked out because I'd started doing more virtual stuff anyway, like live streaming. I had all the setup, right? So I could immediately like pivot to that, and I had my green screen and I had all this stuff. So I've been doing all these virtual gigs, but a lot of them are me for companies, and it's just laughable to see all these companies and be like, wait, how are you not yet to grips with Zoom? They'll be like, where do we do this gig? I'm like, on Zoom. And they're like, what's Zoom? Yeah, we've been inside for a month and a half. How are you running your business? And so you then go on the Zoom call, and I'm like, cool, you need to make sure that you mute everyone, and then there'll be someone in the car, there was someone in the car when they were driving, holding the phone, watching the Zoom call. So throughout the whole call, it was just this engine rumbling noises and horn honking. And I'm just like, politely like, hey, could we ask Jane to mute her thing? And Jane is definitely ignoring what we're doing.
Well, she's driving.
Yeah.
It's super dangerous.
Yeah. See, well, I guess there's fewer cars on the roads, but still. I'm not encouraging it. Don't Zoom and drive.
Well, Chris, I'm assuming that there's a lot of business owners and people that run their companies similar to how I run the company or business or whatever.
It's a lot of toilet seat up, toilet seat down talk.
Is that once I have reached a point where in my mind I'm like, well, it seems like I'm pretty stable, whatever. I've told myself I'll never learn anything new again. And that's where I'm at right now.
You just disconnect and you let your employees ride it out for you. And then just as long as they're doing it for you.
Like, I didn't get into business to start working really hard forever. I got into it just to get to the point where I don't really have to work hard again, and that's all I want to do. And,
that makes sense to me.
And then everybody's calling me a dumb old man, and everybody's like, you're an idiot, you're running this company to the ground. But in my mind, I'm like, it'll last just long enough until I die. And then that's it.
And who cares what people say about you when you're dead?
Or you work for a giant company, and you're like, I got a golden parachute. Who cares?
Too big to fail.
Like, I'll eventually either be pushed out or retire or whatever, but I'll have my monies, and whatever I do that's going to hurt
tells
this.
me I don't think that's Chris's way of doing things.
I'm just saying it's the dumb old white man mentality that I assume a lot of people have, and I respect it.
Across that. Do you guys know what the Peter Principle is?
What? No, what is that?
So it's from this like business management book. I think maybe from the 60s or the 70s, maybe a bit more recent. But I learned about this the other day. It's this fact that in companies, everyone is promoted to a level of incompetence, right? The idea is you get promoted because you're good at your job. So you get promoted to the next job. And if you're good at that, you get promoted to the next job and the next job and the next job. However, once you don't get promoted, that's because you weren't good enough at the position you were promoted to move up. So everyone in every position is not good enough for the position they're doing. So there's this argument like, once you start going, I think we should promote this person, you shouldn't promote that person. You should stack the company full of people who are one level lower than they should be, and that way the company runs better. But obviously that's how no companies run.
Yeah, I have heard of that before.
Yeah,
and
I think it's really great.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I don't know how many big corporations you've worked for, Chris, because you've been an entertainer for a long time. But in every corporation I've ever worked for, and I've worked for some big ones, that's been the case, seemingly.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not
agree with that.
talking ass about any former managers or anything like that. You just look around and you're like, oh, this guy is my boss, or this guy is his boss. You're like, this ain't good. And this is definitely why this is all shim sham, ridiculous, nothing matters. Like, who the person is telling me what to do has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that's how it is.
So you probably see a lot of these with your virtual gigs. What other things have you been doing? I mean, obviously you're in LA. What other things have you been doing to try and keep yourself, I guess, creative or not freak out or
busy?
Yeah, so it's been about 6 weeks since we kind of locked down. LA was California was one of the first states to do it, I think. And my last gig was maybe March 12th, I think Thursday. And that was just before Friday the 13th. And that was the first gig that was canceled, which sucked because I was due to be performing that night. And I knew that, there was a possibility that John Cleese was coming to that show.
Whoa.
Monty Python fame, just because his daughter is a very good comedian, and so she messaged me and was like, "Hey, I'm going to be at that show tonight, and my dad's thinking of coming along. It'd be really cool for him to see you because we've spoken about him and how I revere him. Because she's one of those things she's got a super famous dad, and so she acknowledges it rather than being like, I don't want to talk about my famous father. It's like a godfather of comedy. Obviously, we talk about that. It's weird that I do comedy, right? So that was the first day without a gig. And I think I'm super lucky, right? I've been doing a lot of virtual gigs, these Zoom gigs. I've been doing virtual college gigs. I've done at least a dozen virtual college shows because, again, immediately as soon as the lockdown started, all these colleges lost their entertainment, right? They couldn't do shows. And so my agent, who's very smart and good, she was like, hey, we should just start pitching your show as a virtual show. So we immediately booked in, just solid booking these gigs. And all I do is I do like this to camera. I say that, I know people are listening rather than watching, but I sit in front of my camera with my mic, with my music. And for an hour, I just like take suggestions from the viewers and rap about it. And it's super fun. Like you get varying levels of success because some universities, like loads of people turn up to watch, and some of them they don't advertise it. So it's literally, I did one for the University of Massachusetts Boston. The only person watching was the newspaper editor for the university. And I was like, oh, how did you find out about this gig? Because I don't think they've advertised it anywhere. She said, oh, they said, hey, can you go and review this gig for the newspaper?
And literally the only person?
Yeah, it was one. No, it was a student, right? She was young, but she was just she reviewed it, just saying, "Hey, this is a great show." I mean, it was weird because it was just me telling a man in California what to do for an hour. So like, the review was really nice. It was like, this would have been great if there were more people watching. I hope that he comes to the university and people come to the gig, but that confuses me that like they'd book you and then do no advertising.
Do they pay you?
Oh, yeah, they pay me, yeah. I get paid in advance. That's definitely the new thing about these virtual gigs. Get paid in advance, because then if no one shows up, they'll be like, hey, no one, not even the person who booked me showed up.
That could be a lot of things. It could be lack of technology, of knowing. And then again, universities, it's kind of could funnel back to our other conversation about bigger corporations. I mean, in a lot of ways, that's what they are.
They drop the ball. Plus, like, I'm virtually certain, like, what do you say, 97% of the students, once they were told that college is over or like on like just took off and never looked back.
Exactly. Some of these colleges, I'm like, how many students do you have? And they go, we have 56,000 students. And then I'll be like, wow, how engaged are they with the entertainment? They're like, oh yeah, we usually do like 100 people at the comedy shows. And I'm like, wait, you have 56,000 students and in your live events, only 100 people show up. What are they doing? Like, then again, I remember being a student. But the thing is, you can't drink when you're student age in America, right? So what are you doing?
Yeah, well,
I mean, you're just drinking at house parties.
You're drinking illegally.
You're just drinking illegally.
Yeah. It's
all of you. So just kind of wrap around the main. I'm lucky enough to keep performing in a sense, right? And I do like public live streams on YouTube or these kind of weird little one-off game shows on Twitch, which is great and it's nice because donations come in and it's nice to see people supporting artists. And I think I've done various virtual gigs with other comedians, and we did one. We had 7,000 people watching it. Like one of the biggest comedy clubs in the UK put on a live show. I was the one live act. Everyone else was pre-recorded. But we had 7,000 people watching, and they were raising money for the staff of the club. And we haven't got the numbers back yet, but I think they did a really, really good job. But the one thing I miss is the actual live aspect of it, right? Like I can still perform to the same number of people that I would perform to live, like 250 people on a live stream, same as 250 people in the room, the club I play. However, I realize what I like is the applause, is people looking at me and laughing and me hearing that and going, oh, yeah, I did that. I made you laugh. And show, hanging out and being like, taking photos with people and like, shaking hands. And now I don't have that. And I realize, what I get from performance is not the performing, it's the reaction. The hardest thing.
That makes sense to me.
It makes like what makes sense about it is just like anything. It's like drugs or anything you take to get something in return. It's that the endorphins, the way the chemicals your brain releases, it's going to be different and based upon the same action you've been doing for years, which is
the energy. Just something as simple as the energy. I mean, there's the same amount of eyes on it, but the energy is going to be immensely different. I feel like
the feedback is what you crave, not necessarily the fact that you're performing, like you said. And it's interesting. Also, for you, Chris, it seems like your performance or what you're doing lends itself a little better to this aspect of how you're presenting it through Zoom or whatever online, because I saw, like, we know a lot of comedians, and I saw on Dan Cummins' Instagram the other day, he did like a live,
I saw that too.
a virtual show live, and he agreed to do it with like some comedians.
Said it was a little odd though.
Yeah, and I've heard of this from a lot of people. Like the first time they did it, they did not like it. They said how weird it was, how different it was to perform without instant feedback and how odd. And some people have gotten used to it. I know Carmen Morales, a friend that's out in LA.
She's thriving doing it, but it took her a minute to get used to it. But I think, Chris, did you find, I mean, obviously you've been doing streaming, you know, this isn't a new thing to you. You were dabbling and getting really good at it before it became the new way. So, I mean, do you think that helps?
Yeah, oh, definitely. And because I started streaming after meeting you guys for the first time. Because it was you guys and your kind of expanded circle of close people who know what they're doing, who were like, hey, you should start streaming. But in October, so it happened since I saw you guys last. I had like my YouTube channel blew up in quite a big way because I used to have like 20,000 subscribers, and then I had one video go insanely viral. Like it's coming up on 8 million views, and that put me like, I got immediately like 100,000 new subscribers, and then since then it's gone up to like 220,000, which is great.
That's amazing.
I was working for like a year, putting out a video every week, and I was like, hey, these videos are good. Why people aren't watching them? And then one took off, and then the rest of them took off. And I was like, oh, they are good. That's good to know. Because you were just like kind of, I don't know, grinding away going, but is it good? So that meant that that's why I'm doing a lot less Twitch, because although Twitch is, you know, I have a good number of followers, but my YouTube now is, you know, 220,000 subscribers. So you go live on that and people get the alerts. And obviously, you know, fewer of them are going to come through because there's not that connection that Twitch has. But I was doing those live streams before. I've probably done like 8 or 9 weekly live streams before shutdown. And then I just kind of pivoted harder to the live streams. I'm doing fewer than I want to because I'm having to preserve my energy and voice for the college gigs, right? Because they pay more, and it's nicer to worry less about kind of asking your fans for money.
Yes.
I'm not having to push my donations as hard because I'm in that position where I can do these college ones instead. But yeah, I don't mind performing without the feedback as much as I think some stand-up comedians would. Like, obviously I miss it, but the fact, if you're telling jokes, I just stare at the camera and be like, my friend's nickname is Foreign Film. We call him that because he's all talk and no action.
Yeah.
Without a laugh, it's awful. But my friend Scott Bennett, who's a super funny comedian from the UK, because he's great, and he's been like coming up through the scene through working hard, and he quit his, like, he had a good job making like a lot of money, but he also has 2 kids and a wife, and he quit it 3 years ago just to do stand-up comedy.
Wow.
And he did a show about it called Leap Year. And he was like, hey, it's really risky. Like, my whole family could starve to death because I was the only one making money, because he was making good money. And then I packed this in just to follow my silly dream. But it means he's always worked hard. And then obviously he immediately was like, wait, so now our family has no income?
Right.
He started immediately doing live shows in his shed. And what made it work is that his wife, Gemma, who is lovely and funny and great, she sits in for every show and is the audience. So he's not really performing to the camera as much. He's performing to his wife, and she has the best laugh. And he's writing new material every week, so she's never heard it before. It's not like it's the same jokes each stream. He's doing an hour and a half each week, because he's really putting the time in, like all week, just like she's looking after the kids, and he's like, I'm making money by writing, and he's like got sponsorship through it.
That's awesome.
Radio stuff, but it works because she is there laughing. Wow. Now, I would never dream of asking my wife to sit down and...
I was about to say, what a saint. I mean, this guy, he found a winner there. I just start talking while I'm doing the dishes, and my wife's like, my God, please shut up. I can't take it anymore. Just, you talk for a living. Just go do it on that. Why are you telling me?
Never talk to me again.
Your cockamamie business ideas. I'm so tired of it.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Like, I couldn't imagine, like, hey, sit down, babe, and I'm going to do a podcast, and you got to laugh at all my jokes. It would be punishment.
I think neither of our wives would ever opt into that. They just divorce.
Yeah.
You know, and then we'd go in that direction.
Chris, going back to your YouTube video that went viral, because you're a smart dude, did you try to go back and try to analyze why that particular video went viral compared to any others?
I think I know why. And it was all accidental, because I think it's not the best of my videos by a long shot. However, it is shorter than some of them. It's like a lot. People who see my videos, it's like I get suggestions from the audience, and then I do a rap out the suggestions. A lot of my videos, increasingly, because this is what my fans say they like, it's a lot of crowd work at the start. It's like 3 minutes of getting suggestions because I'm making jokes about them, and then I do the rap, and the rap might be 4 minutes, and so the video's like 7 or 8 minutes. The video that went viral is just over 5 minutes because literally I started getting suggestions that night, and they just came in really quick. Like people are just shouting out like boom, 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 boom. So within a minute and a half, I've got all the suggestions, and so I then start rapping, and so immediately the video serves up what it says it's going to do. It has that hook. Also. And I've learned this. This is a thing, like psychology of YouTube. You want to get people to click on the video, right? And if you click on a video, YouTube is like, oh, this is a good video because people clicked on it when they saw the thumbnail. My thumbnail in it apparently looks like I'm Elon Musk.
Oh, really?
All right.
It was a video of Elon Musk rapping. Because like it's a picture of me, and then it says, I'll rap about anything. So people are like, why is Elon Musk rapping?
Okay.
You do have a little Musk to you.
You're a little musky.
Yeah.
Elon, I mean, when people said that, I was like, Elon Musk looks weird. And then I was like, oh, wait, Elon Musk was married to Tallulah Riley twice, who is a straight up hottie, and Grimes, who is, fit. I was like, oh, that's good. I mean, also it may be his, big brain and big bank, but
more of the billions, really. That's.
I don't find him at all. I don't know. Maybe I disagree. I don't look at him and think he looks weird. To me, I look at him. I think he looks European.
Yeah. He looks like a pasty European, just like Chris. No offense.
So I then figured out the main psychology on YouTube is to get people to watch a video. You have to play with their like emotional triggers. So people click on a video if they're like, oh, I'll love this, or if they'll hate watch it. Like it's such a huge proportion of YouTube. And so what had happened was I was doing a show called White Boy in New York, which is a show about race and masculinity. So I was like, White Boy, good title. So what I started doing was my videos for that month, I made all the titles. White boy drops unbelievable freestyle. White boy spits fire about blah, blah, blah. Yeah. White boy freestyle raps like you've never seen. I was like, oh, cool, because that's going to give me some good SEO. And then what had obviously happened was everyone was watching it being like, wait, why does it matter that he's white?
Oh,
and people like clicking it, like hate watching it. But again, YouTube loves controversial videos. So if it's getting a lot of likes, but still some dislikes, it's like, well, most people enjoy this, but some people violently disagree. So then the comments start. People are like, why does it matter? It would be racist if you put black boy. Why is he boy? He's a man. And now they're like, oh, you just have to Google Chris Turner White Boy and see him doing a 2-week run off Broadway. That's why it's called that. But obviously people, why would people put that work in? So that just blew it up. And it's still, I'm so lucky because it keeps just coming back. Like people just keep watching it now. It'll do like 20,000 views every couple of days. And you're like, this is from October. So hopefully it'll just keep going forever because, maybe 10 people watch it and 3 of them go, I love this guy. I want to see, whoa, he's got more of them. And then they get into that rabbit hole of watching more and more and more, which is and I think that was another thing. Once you've watched it once, people believe it's not real. So either they'd watch another one to prove that it was a one-off and then go, oh, this was real, or they watch more because they're like, I want to see more of this guy. And that, I think, is all these kind of things that came together to make it blow up. And I've had other ones since then that have done really well, and I know why they go. But you're just throwing stuff out into the void. So if anyone who listens does YouTube and goes, oh, like it's not working, yeah, I was just plowing along at it for a year, and then one caught off, and I only know in retrospect.
That's kind of what we're doing. And we just put content out there and try to, grind it out. But I guess that you could, we say that about anything really here.
Oh, we need to start labeling our videos more controversial.
Oh God,
that's the
Don't
way.
let Tom in charge of this.
That's what Chris is telling me.
Right before
put white boy in there.
I know. I did the last video I put black boy doesn't put down toilet seat.
No, don't put that.
And then I put your picture, and then I just stamped racist on your head.
Well, it's a basic psychology of the internet. It has to be it's
got to be polarizing. It's got to be weird. Yeah.
It's if people don't hate it or it's not inspirational. If it's someone talking logically about like the middle of a like, hey, they have it right on this side and on this side, I think we should go. No one wants to hear like no one wants to hear logic or reasoning or like some like explanation like, these guys aren't that bad. If you look at it this way, it's hate, love, inspiration.
It's so weird because people will comment being like, hey, why is this video titled like, like incredible, earth-shaking freestyle rap, the best freestyle rap ever? You're like, well, because you wouldn't click on good freestyle rap or a satisfying freestyle type. No one clicks on that. And it's annoying that you have to do that. But if you want to make it work, you have to play the game. And then you just hope that most people know that that's how it works, right?
I do like the idea of you naming your freestyle genuinely entertaining freestyle. I like the idea of it just being something just normal, and then that one catching on. But you're right; it's just never going to happen.
But you know what? You know what this does? Yeah. You know what this does ruin? Like when I tried, there was a while. I know. I don't know if you're a American football fan, Chris, but
yes, I know all about the gridiron.
He looks like he keeps up on it like daily.
I got lost in a YouTube hole one time trying to find the longest. I was like, how long can a human throw a football? Like there has to be some sort of evidence on YouTube, I imagine.
Yeah, what's the record
of like the longest football throw? Because I was trying to see if there's ever been a quarterback that threw 100 yards or not. Anyway, stupid YouTube hole when I was high. I got in and I couldn't find it because every GD video is labeled longest football throw ever because exactly like you said, that's what everybody's searching for. And all I see is a bunch of kids throw some granny. Like it's nonsense. I couldn't actually find the longest football throw because there's 10,000 videos labeled longest football throw and it's all buried by that. So
YouTube got what they wanted, which was you clicked through multiple videos, absorbing those adverts. So they want that.
Yep, and then I just caused the problem to be perpetuated more through that. Anyway, Chris, so speaking of your YouTube channel, let's get some plugs out of the way so people can find it and find out what you're doing and all that stuff.
Sure. Well, my YouTube channel is youtube.com/Chris PJ Turner, P for Peter, J for Joseph. But if you just go on YouTube and search Chris Turner Rap, then my channel comes up. And then I'm on Instagram as well with Chris Turner Comedy, which is also my Twitch handle. Just, Chris Turner and the stuff, it comes up. Also, a big thing is as well, if anyone wants customized freestyles, that's another little kind of side hustle I'm doing. Nice. There's an app called Cameo, which is also a website. You can commission me to do a custom freestyle. So in the last 5 months I'm coming up on 200. I'm actually one away from doing my 200th one.
Nice.
So I do those for birthdays, graduation presents, roasts, or if you just want a little rap for yourself, and people seem to really like them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's way better than Chum Lee from Pawn Stars telling us happy birthday.
He was outside, we ordered one from Chum Lee from Pawn Stars. He's standing outside a Subway. He's like, hey, what's up? It's Chum Lee. What am I supposed to say? And then, oh, yeah, we're glad you fired Lee, you idiots.
Then the Chocolate Rain guy.
Tazon Day.
We explored a Cameo back when it first got released. Pretty interesting.
I was initially very skeptical. I was like, why would people pay money to have me do a rap? And then I started doing it, and I was like, oh, a lot of people would. Okay, this is cool. And yeah, I think mine are quite good value because I do three minutes of rapping, really. It's like you get a full freestyle. And what's fun is when the people who get them send you the reaction videos as well. They're like, hey, my wife's the biggest fan. So it's never wives, it's always husbands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, not to get anything for free, but I wouldn't be American radio show host if I didn't ask you
to give us some money to prop our company up.
No. Because to give us a little freestyle. I know, but Daniel hates us.
We're cameoing. I'm very uncomfortable right now.
I'll donate your Cameo.
It's not a donate. You purchase.
You have to purchase
whatever.
it.
All right, I'll purchase. I'll go and just you'll see. My Twain 30569 is my Cameo email address. I'll just put a donation. This will count for this. But I'll give you a small setup, Chris, because every day I walk in to the office, because we've been basically putting out content since this whole thing started. And I have to listen to everybody I work with, including Daniel, talk about this video game, Animal Crossing. Are you familiar with it?
I am very much familiar with it. Yeah, I
Yes.
don't play it, but all my friends do.
Yeah, okay, so I'm in the same scenario
Good as
where
hell, man.
I don't play it. It seems like a baby game, but they're all talking about how the raccoon mayor of this town won't buy their garbage or something.
He's
And I have
the
to-
owner of the resort company.
Yeah, and I have to listen about their who's garden of the plums and
It's not plums.
Excuse me?
and then their
It's turnips.
They got some sort of weird basements. They're decorating. To me, it's
You
ridiculous.
don't
but
listen to a word
No,
we
he
say.
doesn't. No.
It's all nonsense to me. But I have to listen to it every day, and everybody's talking about Animal Crossing, and then I have to sit there and be mad looking at my computer as I hear them talking about Animal Crossing. So could you end this interview, Chris, with a short, doesn't have to be long, freestyle about Animal Crossing? You can go either way. I would
Stop.
prefer to go towards the hate route, but that's fine. You can go towards liking it now.
Okay, cool. I'll drop a beat and we'll do this.
All
This
right,
is the
yeah,
stuff.
Oh my god.
Very uncomfortable.
Animal Crossing
Listen,
rap.
listen.
Very uncomfortable.
No.
right now.
I gotta pull my sleeves off.
Rhymes, fire off the hook. Running Animal Crossing, my name is Tom Nook. I'll lend you money, although we call it bells. If you don't pay it back, well, I'm coming for you. A high rate of interest, take a turnip from the ground. Then what's next? I put it on the turnip market, selling it good. Did you see on Twitter it's enjoyed by Elijah Wood? He be visiting your island, and they said, can you get a nice object for the basement? Decorate it, paint it by my own hand. Walk around animals looking on the nice sand. It's a real beach, fun for everybody. When you got Nintendo Switch, it's never shoddy. A fat popular game coming from Japan, enjoyed by everybody, but not this man, Tom Van, saying no, I hate it. Animal Crossing, I'm just frustrated. Wanna take the cartridge or the CD disc and snap it on my knee and throw it off this. It's upsetting, unsettling. You're a grown man, why are you trying to play around with an Immo? You should just get a little Barbie if you like toys. Are you feeling it heartily? Why is everybody obsessed with the game? Addicted to it, I should give it other names. People say Animal Crossing is just for kids. There you go, a freestyle rap that Chris just did.
Yeah. For somebody who does not play the game, you know a lot about it.
Yeah.
He's out brilliant at this.
You know more than our sales guy Butler, who's been playing for months.
I know.
I think I probably gave myself away by saying it was played on a cartridge. I imagine it is not played on a cartridge.
No, I
Fine.
like that part.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like. In fact, it can be. They're actually little SD cards, so close enough. Hey, man, it's always so good to talk to you.
Yeah. And
Delighted to talk to you guys.
we appreciate it, dude. Stay safe and
Give some love to your wife. I know that you recently married. You get married, and then boom, your world shuts down.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, she's probably in the other room being like, when will he stop rapping?
There
There it is.
Well, Chris, we appreciate it, man. Take it easy, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Is too. Thank you.
All right,
see ya.
man. Take care. That is our buddy Chris Turner,
Yeah.
and he's live in LA right now, and he's keeping it,
God,
keeping
he's
it rappy.
Yeah. He's so brilliant at that.
How did he come up with that on the spot without even playing the game? That's what I need to
Well,
know.
he says his friends know, and I bet you if Tom listened to what we said, much like Chris would, if he were our boss or ran the company, you just don't listen. You'd know we drop enough Animal
Right.
Crossing knowledge for you to have an idea
know,
of it.
yeah.
You just have this superpower that Tommy, his son, has, where they can block off the world and just kind of sit there
Yeah.
and just kind of float through life hearing nothing.
Yeah. You call it a superpower. My wife calls it mental illness. Each his own. Also, am I the only one that gets nervous? Like when I hear Chris, when he ends on a word, I'm like, he's never gonna be able to rhyme with this. like I get nervous. I'm like, oh, he did it.
I have faith in him.
You would think that you'd have anxiety about stuff that you need anxiety
Right.
about, you know?
No.
Why are you worried about him? He's fine. He's
I know.
professional.
I know. I'm just like he'll
What's
never
he
be
gonna
able-
do?
Like he's never gonna be able to rhyme through. Oh, he did it.
he got
every single time. I get worried that he's gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry, but I feel like bad.
You know what
for
I'm
him.
confident of? Chris is never listening to you talk and then goes, he goes, oh, he's never going to be able to finish this story. He doesn't do that because he
Right.
knows you're going to keep talking.
Well, it's a guarantee that I'm gonna fail. You just bet on that. It's like the roulette is all black, one red.
We got to take a break. We'll take one. We'll come back with more A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan right after this.